So my name's Kevin Meredith. Online I'm known as Lomokev. I'm a photographer, and I'm not kind of what you might consider a sort of traditional artist. So the way I have used the online space has sort of like slowly evolved over time from when I started using it. It kind of started out as a hobby. And one of my kind of things is I have like obsessions about certain things, and it's like Martin Parr said that photographers are like collectors. So, you know, you quite often find that some photographers are avid collectors of things, or, like me, I kind of just start projects and I never really finish them. So one of my things I like doing is, this is kind of a fun example, is I document full English breakfasts. So I'm not one of these sort of it's kind of like the cliche blogging thing is to, you know, photograph, you know, tweet what you're just about to eat. But what I'll do is I'll only do a certain type of meal, and this has a weird kind of effect where people think that's all I eat. But it's just the thing about Flickr is it makes it really, really easy to suddenly have like massive collections of just images of the same things, and then from that, good things can happen. I mean, I've found that through because the online space is always kind of changing, so I found like from my use of Tumblr, I have two Tumblr blogs. One is for like interesting stuff that I find around the internet, and then another one is for a project I shoot portraits of people in the street for Source magazine. They're like trend spotting pictures, even though I know nothing about fashion, I'm now a trend spotter. And basically because this, I haven't got a picture of it here, but basically because the trend spotting blog is like consistent, it's always the same thing, it's kind of gaining a following faster than my other blog ever did do. And I think kind of like the online audience likes that. They like the fact that there's someone out there being really obsessive about something. I mean, I know people who've like got more full English breakfast pictures than I do. There's a guy called South Coasting on Flickr. He's kind of like beating me hands down with the amount he's got. I mean, I've only got Pixel 67. In fact, what I do is I just document them on my iPhone and post them to Twitter. So, yeah. But good things happen from my obsessions. So one of the things I'm, again, obsessed about is sea swimming. And I think there's a few of the Brighton Sea Swimming Club here tonight, which is nice. See you in attendance and supporting. Is basically I would document my sea swimming obsessions, and it's like to people who kind of like not used to that kind of thing, and they just see these people, what they assume to be crazy people swimming at 7:30 in the morning, whether it be, you know, winter or it's snowing or whatnot. It just basically, this collection of images kind of built up, and it was just like these people thought, wow, this is kind of incredible, and that kind of got a big following. But that had a kind of side effect, because one of the people who I swim with, she worked at a publisher, and basically I would email all the members of the swimming club and I'd say, look, you know, I've been taking all these photographs of the Brighton Sea swimmers, what do you think of it? And they really, really liked it, and it was just like a sort of personal thing. And then that kind of developed into her saying to me, well, you know, your photographs are really interesting. I've been looking at not just your swimming pictures, but everything. I'd really like you to write a book for us. And I was sort of a bit taken aback. And then basically this is what happened, is I suddenly became a published author. And then again, but the thing what was kind of different about this book, and it's kind of highlighted to me, is what things like, it was kind of highlighted by what my publisher said. They were really surprised about, I had some book launches, because basically I said to them, oh, we can have a book launch, and they're like, oh, no, we don't do that. Like, oh, okay, it's kind of strange. So I organised my own book launches, and I did a book launch in Brighton, London and Bristol. And there was kind of like this kind of like building hype when I was doing it. I was kind of promoting it online on Twitter and Flickr and whatnot. And I kept on saying to my publisher, I thought, oh, I think I need more books, I think I need more books. And they said to me, well, the most an author has ever taken off us before is like 15 books. But because I'd kind of like built up this so much hype, I was kind of working out that, you know, because it was kind of like a time before Facebook events. I have a problem with Facebook events, is people say that they're coming and then they don't come. And then you see the same suspects do it all the time. There's one girl I know, and I'm going to go and see Aliens at the Duke of York's. And I went to the Facebook page, I went, yeah, I'm coming, I'll book my ticket, I'm going. And yeah, it's going to be the special edition as well, so it's good. Anyway, there's this girl, and she's down there as coming, and I was like, there's no way she's going to be there. No way. So, I don't know. So anyway, but this was before Facebook events, and there was a website called Upcoming, which was really, that's my problem with Facebook. Sorry to go into a little rant here. Facebook does a lot of things, but I don't think it does them well. Whereas things like Twitter and Meetup and Upcoming and all the other kind of web services, they focused on one thing and they were very good at it. And I just think that Facebook's not good at any of this. Anyway, so what I was going to say is, because of all this stuff I was doing, the book launches went off. And I had like, I sold a ton of books, and I think the London book signing, I started signing at 6:30 and was signing books till 10. So it was pretty crazy. But anyway, just talking about my kind of use of like social networking online. It's kind of like, a lot of people think, oh yeah, just join every network and try and be really active on them, but that's just impossible. So what I tend to do is just like slim it down and only use a few networks. So, you know, don't spread yourself too thinly. The other thing is as well, is if you're like if you're a new artist and you're thinking, right, I'm going to want to break into the online space, you know, I've been doing my thing, but I want to kind of spread it across the World Wide Web, is think of how you want to portray yourself online, whether you want to just be your real name, which sometimes can be a pain in the arse because obviously you might not get your real name on a lot of social networks. Incidentally, my online pseudonym, Lomokev, it's kind of like, it's been a bit of a problem for me. Although it's great and I've got kind of like, it's the same across all networks, I have the same icon everywhere and I'm really easily sort of recognisable. Lomo is like a camera I use, so effectively I've got someone else's brand name in my Flickr username, which has become a problem because I just lost a massive job promoting Canon. And it was going to be all linked in from Yahoo's homepage across Europe, which gets like 10 million page hits a day and stuff like that. So it would have been massive. And I went up to London. I had meetings with. There was going to be me and two other people, and one of the journalists from the One Show was going to do it. And I'm just sitting there. This is really cool. And I got this email saying from Yahoo going, "Oh yeah, the Canon people don't like the fact that you're called Lomokev. Can you write an email to explain why you think it would be all right to?" And I just emailed them back and said, "I'll write whatever you want me to, but just think of it this way. I was promoting you, and I was called Google Kev. Would you be happy about it?" So, and it was going to be massive. It was going to be video tutorials, writing articles, moderating things till Christmas. It would have been a lot of money, and it's just gone. So the moral of the story is, think about what you're going to call yourself online. My excuse is my whole kind of online thing developed before I'd actually considered that this would actually turn into a career. So the first time I actually used Lomokev is when I joined Match.com in 2004. So, and that's the funny thing, is because there's a kind of debate going on now is whether you should use a pseudonym or whether you should use your real name, and there's very good arguments for and against it. If you ever look at me online, it'll always say Kevin Meredith on Twitter, and then it will say in brackets Kevin Meredith. So I never try and hide who I am. So I'm going to try and transition to just being Kevin Meredith now. So yeah, just think about your name. The other thing as well is I've seen a lot of it online. I think that I've seen a lot of people kind of like slagging other people off, slagging other people's work off, not being very constructive. So one of my biggest things is like, if you're going to be in the online space, just be nice. If you don't have a nice thing to say about someone, just don't say it at all. And also I've seen amazing examples of people getting drunk or being on drugs and tweeting and just going, I just think, you know. I mean, I tweet and that when I'm drunk, but I don't think that I don't behave in a way that would, in real life when I'm drunk, would like kind of upset people. I'm quite personal when I'm drunk, I think. We'll also find out when I hit some of those in a minute. So yeah, just play nice online. And one of my other pet hates as well is a lot of artists, when they go online, they say, "Oh, I'm really worried about people stealing my work." And it's just like, there's great advantages to being online, having your work online. Amazing things can happen. I've had 3 books published, and I've had one of my books translated in 10 languages, and it's sold, well, it's been printed 100,000 times. I'm assuming a lot of those are sold. Because the print ones are quite kind of, you know, sensible. So, yeah, just don't worry about people stealing your work. I mean, this image here I'm really well known for, but I don't think it would have gained such, people wouldn't have loved it so much if I'd plastered a watermark across the bottom. And watermarks can be removed, and I think it's just put your work online, and it's all about learning to let go of control, and then good things will happen. And the other thing is, in this day and age, and it will become easier, you'll be able to find where people have stolen your work very easily, because at the moment Google's just launched a reverse image search, so you can put an image on Google and say, tell me where else this is online. You just basically go do Google search, click on images, and then where you would type a search term, just drag an image off your desktop, and then it's awesome. But also as well, this is, I'm kind of going off the point because I'm going over time now. But anyway, just quickly, the other thing is like, I've heard, it's very strange when artists complain when other people take their work and put it on their blog. Because essentially, it's not a bad thing. What they're saying is, I like your work, everybody go check this out. And this is one of my favourite examples, because obviously all these can't be taken by the same person. But it's an amazing blog called Kim Jong-il Looking at Things. It's one of the best websites in the world, I think. So I think that's about my 10 minutes. That's me, that's Kevin Meredith. So just, Google Kevin Lomokev.
I think Kevin just talked about some really interesting things, and a small Facebook rant is always welcome in my world. And the think about your name and the discussion about people using pseudonyms on the internet is really interesting. I don't know if any of you signed up to Google Plus or you followed that debate, but Google Plus do not allow you to use a pseudonym on their website, on Google Plus. So unless your name looks like a person's name, they delete your account. So that's an ongoing issue. And the idea of just being nice, I think, is a really good one and a really good thing to take away from this.